Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So, been out and I found some game trail areas, and I want to show you a basic snare wire that you can actually set up in this. Now, we've shown spring snares, deadfalls, all kind of different things, and we've actually shown this before. But since I do have a nice little game trail here, and I do have some type of track imprint, unfortunately with the rain weather we've been having here, it's kind of hard to tell what it is just yet, because it's also in sand. But let me go and show you what we're looking at and how we're going to set this up. Alright, so I don't know how well everything's coming up on the camera here, but I've got impressions here coming through and other skids coming that way. Now, let's see if we get this here. You got this brush right here, you got this tree, so whatever it is shooting through here when it's traveling. Alright. So what we're going to do is set up our snare wire here in this opening. That way when it comes back through, we actually do catch it. Okay, so we have our wire here, and we've got a basic loop system. You can use solid wire or braided wire. It's entirely up to you. This here is braided wire. I've used it many times. It works really well. So I want my loop to actually sit down in here. So I want to tie off on something up here. This is definitely a small game, so I'm not worried about too much of the load here. Anything will tie off is what we're going to be using, just as long as it doesn't break, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to find one of these branches here. I'm going to tie off on it. Now once we have our loop in place, I do have a little bit of opening here. I want it to actually go through the loop, so I'm going to take some of this debris that's laying around here, and I'm just going to kind of block the area out a little bit. It doesn't have to be staked down. It's just a visual aid. If it sees it's not going to go towards that, it's going to go for the main opening. So we're going to clear out some of this extra debris here. This way, if anything comes running through, it's got to go through our loop. As you can see, here's our loop right here. It's tied off, and this way it's got to go this way. If it stays on its normal path, in which most animals do, that's why they call it game trails, it will have to go through this loop. And when it does, there it is. So it won't back off. I actually have to manually release it, but I'm holding the camera with my other hand. Okay, so we're fixing to get this fire going. I got my fire still here. I got a piece of chert, and I have my char cloth. I'll lay it on top of my chert. I got the other materials right here that will stick in the fire once we get started. So we need a spark on this char cloth. And we got one right there. We'll put this in this pine needle stuff. We'll take our moss. It just makes it easier for me to hold. There we go. Got our fire going here. We got our bundles and stuff down in here as well. Before we can get our fire started. And that is that. So just gotta make sure we got our twigs and stuff to catch too, because just burning pine needles is not always the best idea, right? So we got plenty of twigs and stuff laying around. I mean, most of this is all dried up bundled material. But just another way to start a fire: flint and steel, piece of char cloth. If you have charcoal, that works as well. Throw your sparks on the charcoal. This right here, it'll pick up an ember fast. So yeah, another day done. All right, guys. So what do we have here? We have ourselves a lizard. Actually, I've already been munching on these lizards pretty much all day today. They just kept on coming out, and basically just hit them with a stick. So I've already cleaned this sucker out. No, I did not skin them because they are pretty small. We're going to roast them over these coals and just eat them the way he is. Make sure you wash these things very good. Any type of reptiles and stuff like that, guys, you don't want to be handling with your hands until you wash this stuff. And even after cooking, Still wash your hands because I believe it's salmonella, if I'm correct, that reptiles have all over them. So all we're doing is taking our stick and we are roasting over the coals. So how you cook lizard? Just like this. Put them right over the coals. Another really good way of cooking these little guys is oil. Vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever type of oil you use. Me, it doesn't really matter. I like vegetable oil. I know vegetable oil is not the best oil out there, but like I already said, that's what I use, but I don't have any with me. Basically with lizard, just think of it as snake. Snake's really good eating. Okay, so our lizard is done. Not much to look at once you cook them over the grill, over the coals I mean. Oh, there's little gooey. So yeah, that's what's left of the tail. But cook them up good enough, nice and crunchy. Now lizard, I will say, has a chicken taste to it. Yeah, I would say it has a chicken taste. So that is one more lizard down. Make sure you chew up the bones really good. So with lizards, we've also had our fish, you know, large minnows, small fish, whatever I can get in our traps. We haven't had any luck on this trip as far as catfishing or any other type of line hand fishing, trout lines, catfish lines, nothing. The water level is still flooded. I'm afraid the larger fish are deeper into the lake here. They're not getting near the edge. But hey, we're still getting food in. You know, it's still edible food. So yeah, there is ways of surviving out here. To catch lizards, you know, when I was younger, it was easy to just run up and grab them. I move a lot slower than I used to. So I usually just take a big stick and I just practice throwing. As long as you're really good at throwing a stick, anywhere from 10-15 feet, you're gonna get them. So, you know, that's what I've been doing today. Between that and checking fish traps, lizard's not bad. It is a source of protein. It is food. With anything, guys, cook it, but gut it. Get the internal organs out. You might be able to eat it that way with the internal organs in it. I saw other comments, well, when I was in the Philippines, when I was in Vietnam, all these other places. That's your choice. I hear a frog. I'm going to go do some frog bashing again tonight. That's your choice. Me personally, because of intestinal parasites and things like that that could be in the animal, I'm going to gut it and I'm going to deep fry it or grill the crap out of it. So that's what we did. It's still food coming in. So yeah, that is frog legs right there. That's it. Not much, is it? So what I usually do is skin them and boil them. We go ahead and remove all the skin here, and we're just going to roast them. Because like I said, there's not much meat on it. These are kind of small, but this is Florida. I was actually lucky to even get this sucker. I spend less time using minnow traps than I did trying to get this guy. So there's our frog legs. Plenty of meaty material. Make sure that we get all the trash out of them. When I say trash, I mean the rectum, the poop chute, you know, the stuff that we don't want to eat. And then we'll roast them. Alright, so we've got our frog legs. You don't want to cook in the flames themselves. You want it down here in the coals. So, we got a frog leg here. Alright, you see this white meat? That is what you're going for. Like I said, there's not a lot of meat on these little frogs, but catch enough of them, put them in a stew, you got some good eating. If you get large enough ones, you can just chow down on the muscle tissue of the leg anyway. Don't forget the little calves. So yeah, besides the bones, there it is, one frog. Frog's actually really good. Okay, so we got a pine sapling here. We got our trap set down there. Alright, so we staked off down here on the ground. We got our toggle set up here with our line to our tree. We'll also have our snare wire looped right here with our fish bait. Now, I just set the actual loop over on the other side, so either way, it's got to get his head in here either way to get to this fish. So this thing is hairline, it will pop if I touch it. It looks like the loop's not all that great. It actually is. I've got tension right here. If I bump that, it shuts up. It actually pulls in. That's how much tension is on this line itself. So if it does stick his head in here, we got him.